Mention Nottingham and what comes to mind? A land of heroes robbing from the rich to pay for the poor? Or have stories of Robin Hood and his merry men been replaced by modern day reality of robbery, knife crime and shootings, helping to dub the city as Shottingham? Or is Nottingham viewed in a much brighter light with the castle, rich culture, history and inclusiveness for all?
Nottingham's always tried to get away from that factory image simply because there aren't any in this country anymore, never mind the city. So yeah, we have had an identity crisis.
But I think it's a city that's got a very strong sense of its own identity, and it's changing all the time.
Whatever your impression of this city, which lies right at the heart of England, it is home to a diverse cultural mix, and in recent years the face and faces of Nottingham has undergone real changes. After its industry disappeared, has there been a loss of identity for the city? But through the eyes of various ages, groups and professions, all living within this city, how do the people that make the city how it is really view Nottingham? In order to see how Nottingham has really changed, it's only right to rewind the clock 60 years and to a city rising out of 2 world wars.
The best as I remember being born in the 50s was darkness. The city's much more bright now, more open compared to what I remember as a child, and I'm talking about early to mid 50s. It was crowded, overrun. Money hadn't been spent. The city has had money spent on it now. Now, whether that money's been spent correctly is down to individuals, how they think.
The city has seen many transformations, some glamorous, others controversial, over more than half a century.
The 2 things that I think probably made most impact were the building of the 2 big shopping malls, Victoria Centre and Broadmarsh Centre. It made it more like everywhere else. You know, there are a lot of family-owned shops in town, even little department stores, Toby's and Pearson's, that were owned by local families. And now, of course, you get the same shops that you get everywhere else now.
Nottingham has moved away from its industrial past when the city was very different.
You'd plough your rut in a factory for 5 or 6 days a week. You'd have your mum telling you that, you know, when she left school at 15, she could leave the school on the Friday and then go to Boots or Players or Raleigh or any other factories in the area on the Monday.
But now, Nottingham is trying very hard to smarten up its image, with culture replacing industry.
The main difference has been to create a really big open space that can be used for a wide variety of activities to attract the biggest range of people. So every single person should feel able to think of this space as for them, for their interests, for their entertainment and for their pleasure.
Many cultural organisations such as the East Midlands Development Agency, Nottingham City Council and Cultivate East Midlands work together in different areas to promote, develop and create both old and new forms of culture for the city.
Got quite a good cultural offer now, much more so than it ever has done before. I mean, it is the city of Robin Hood, but it's not just Robin Hood now. You've got Nottingham Contemporary, which is going to be one of the best international art galleries in the world, really, with the quality of exhibitions it's going to be holding as well.
Nottingham Contemporary is the city's largest art gallery and promotes modern art, and the intention was to boost culture in the city and improve the urban landscape.
On one hand, well, I think it's brilliant that we do have things like Nottingham Contemporary and Tempera, as it's known around here. Things like that are always great, but you can't force it on people, and there will be a lot of people who will see that building and never walk into it over the course of their life, simply because they feel it's not for them.
The idea was to bring about a world-class facility for contemporary art in the heart of the city, to attract people from across the country, but also to provide something of real value and interest to local people.
It seems to have been the same size and the same peculiar leg of mutton shape from nearly Norman times.
But in Nottingham, without any doubt, the most well-known and highly promoted site in the city has been the old Market Square.
People walked, they came out for a day, they went to the square. A lot of people met the future husbands, wives, whatever. It was a social gathering point. Now it's more, I keep going on about speed, it's fast. The square now seems very slick and fast.
We spoke to those actively involved with the huge transformations we've seen in the square in recent years.
It's an absolute transformation. It's gone from a space which wasn't owned by communities, wasn't owned by the population, no one walked across it, and now on a typical Saturday 50,000 people walk across the market square every hour. We could walk in there any day of the week and there'll be 2,000 or 3,000 people sitting.
The market square has seen it all. I've tracked 365 days in the life of the 21st century square, with everything from St Patrick's Day, an ice rink, Nottingham Eye, the German market and the Nottingham Riviera Beach. And if that wasn't enough, who could forget our very own patron saint? I've come down to the market square as the City Council promotes St George's Day to find out what the people of Nottingham think of their city.
I love Nottingham. It's a great place to live.
I think the council really gets behind Nottingham and promotes it well.
I think it's good how they've promoted today because of all these tents going off and they're promoting the food and it's telling you about basic English things.
Well, my impression, I'd like to move away next year because I think I've seen enough of it, but I guess if other people from other cities are coming into it, they'll enjoy it. That's my impression, really.
Culture is certainly at the heart of promoting Nottingham, but is it working?
The cultural offer of a place is quite critical in people deciding whether they want to come here, whether they want to invest here, whether they want to set up businesses here. And I think that message has got through pretty well.
We've tried to be a tourist town. We've tried to be a retail mecca. We're now kind of a bit of a hen night and a stag night kind of do place. And now the latest thing is being a student town. And we've tried these over the past 3 decades with various levels of success, and we still don't know what we want to be.
The identity of Nottingham certainly has been marketed and promoted like never before, with the events in the market square often integral to such campaigns. One of the latest attractions for the remarketing of Nottingham has been turning this market square area into more of a cultural site, and one of the top attributes they've got is the Nottingham Eye, giving viewers a 360-degree panoramic view of the city from the sky. Robin and his merry men are now back in favour with medieval parades and a whole month of recognition. But for the editor of one of the city's most popular free newspapers, The Left Lion, it is viewed with a degree of cynicism.
The problem with Nottingham, though, is that we've never really celebrated it. We've always been like the Robin Hood town. You ask people about Nottingham and it's Robin Hood, Brian Clough. And while both of those things are brilliant, people like Alan Sillitoe, D.H. Lawrence, Lord Byron, they've been a bit kept in the background a little bit because it doesn't suit our image of being rock hard and, stoic people. I was really lucky to interview Alan Sillitoe a couple of years ago about this very subject, about culture trying to be kind of foisted upon the people. And he said that what needs to happen is just let the people decide what they want. Proper culture is always brewed, and that was the word he used, brewed about the people who live and grow up there.
Since industry moved on, Nottingham has tried to rejuvenate and remodel its image, with culture at the heart of such campaigns. But cultural planners and the City Council can't fail to take into account the views of the people of Nottingham, who after all make the city what it is today. It will be fascinating to see what the future holds for Nottingham.
20 years' time, I think Nottingham will be finished, because it's been like living on a building site for the past 10 years. It's been awful. I mean, the Market Square was shut down for 3 years while they put a load of new slabs in and stuff like that. And it has. You just felt like you've been in this brilliant house that you know is going to be brilliant, but you got to have builders around.
Calmer, as clean, if not cleaner than it is now, and used. People are coming back into the city.
We're hoping it will be what we're calling a flourishing region, and that means a vibrant economic place where people want to live and work.
I just think it's a place where people will have that happy mix of a great place to live, a great place to work, a great place to enjoy, and a great place to discover knowing who you are and where you fit in the world.